Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk about how to play Satin Doll, which is a great tune by Duke Ellington and utilizes a lot of 2/5s. So in fact you can see here, I'm sorry my page is probably more marked up than yours, but D minor to G7 is a 2/5 in C, and that repeats. Then it does E minor to A7, which is a 2/5 in D. And you can see I put little brackets in pencil over these. That's why it looks so ugly on my part. But to remind me what key I'm in, and that's a really great idea. Here's a 2/5 in G, 2/5 in G flat, and so on. Not all 2/5s resolve to 1. So we see that definitely in this tune right here. First and second ending, we have a bridge here. It's an AABA form. The bridge goes to the key of F, and in this case it's a 2/5, 2/5-1, and then another 2/5. Remember, this symbol here means just repeat the bar from before. Sometimes they don't even put that in there, and you just expected to know to repeat it, but it depends on the chart. Okay, so what I want you to do is to utilize your left-handed rootless voicings for all of these. So now we have our 2/5, 2/5 in C. Go up a whole step, 2/5 in D major. Both of those are the third shape. Here, 2/5 in G, which is a cluster shape. Go down a half step, 2/5 in G flat, and then we come out to our first resolution, which is the C major 9, not just a C major 7. We need to add the 9th, okay? Then we have a little turnaround here right before the repeat sign. Here's how I'd like you to voice these. E minor 7 flat 5. All I'm doing is I'm taking the root off and putting it on the top instead of the bottom. I try to avoid tertial shapes like that, like complete root position. By doing this, at least it creates a little cluster by putting the root up on the top. I'm also keeping my hand position from C major, going to D minor 9, which is the next chord coming up after this little 2/5, in this same general location, right? So check this out. When you have a minor 7 flat 5, here's E minor 7 flat 5. That's all you have to do. Flip that up on top. Anytime you have a flatted a minor 7 going to a flatted 5th going to the dominant chord flat 9, the 7 moves down a half step. Again, having good voice leading. 7 of this chord moving to 3rd of A7 flat 9. In this case, I'm leaving out the root. You don't see an A in there. I'm letting, our old, one of our old rules there of letting the bass player play the root. Okay, and that way it allows me to grab 7 and 3, and the flat 9 and the 5th of the chord. Okay, so in one quick grab. So let me show you how I would play this tune. Okay, 2, 3, and 4. My chords are just in half notes. I'm just blocking out the harmony. Okay, so I'm just keeping track of time in half notes. I'm not doing anything fancy. Listen to how I'm interpreting the melody. Very connected on the 8th notes. Quarter notes are short, but they're not super short. They're fat, P-H-A-T. Or dot, D-A-H-T. I'm also accenting the upbeats. There's an upbeat there. I'm ghosting that lower G note a little bit, which just means I'm playing it a little softer. In jazz, we don't have a democracy of 8th notes. Some notes are louder than others to make it interesting. In other words, it's not this. It gives it a bounce if we ghost some notes and accent others. 2, 3, and 4, and. pa-two. Okay, the bridge would be 2-5-1 in F using our left-handed rootless voicings. Oops, sorry about that. Then you have a choice. You can either go B13, B flat 13, A7 altered, which we will learn, flip over to that altered dominant chord for that chord, or you can go F13. They're both used. Both of those are a turnaround, and in fact, the top progression is just utilizing what we call tritone substitutions. Okay, then the only last thing about this tune is when you improvise on this tune, instead of going half note, half with the harmonic rhythm moving in half notes, we're going to divide those 2 5s up, 2-5 up, and we're going to do a whole measure of the 2, then a whole measure of the 5, 3, then a whole measure of the 2, then a whole measure of the 5. Why? It just breaks it up a little bit because this tune is very half notey. And also, if you're a bass player, it allows you to walk a little bit more, I guess, creatively and inventively, instead of having to every 2 beats be on a chord tone root, right? Otherwise, the bass player is doing this, you know, it kind of limits them to being able to hit root, then having only one note, then have to get to a root, then one note. If you can walk, right, that's hipper than to do that. So let me play the melody one more time. 2, 3, and 4. I might even do double-handed chords, right? The second time you go through this tune, after you play it all the way down, A, A, B, A, you can go back and comp. You notice I'm subdividing triplets. Triplet, 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 shatu, batu, batu, right? So really cool tune. And of course, if you can improvise on chord tones, kind of just highlighting the chord tones on that and getting a little bit of a workout there. And we'll talk about improvisation later. So have some fun with this great tune, Satin Doll by Duke Ellington.